So since a lot of people have been asking me to make videos about Somali community, and I really don't want to make videos about this stuff, but you guys want to see it, so I'm gonna talk about it. But what's the topic that we want to talk about today? Hypocrisy. What do you guys want me to talk about? You guys want me to talk about how the Somali community is hypocritical, colorism, Dhaqan Alice, what else? Tribal issues. What do you guys want me to talk about? I mean, there's a few comments that said that they want me to talk about the Dhaqan Alice. I've already talked about that though. But in case you guys don't know, in case any of you guys don't know, if any people are watching that haven't seen the other videos, Dhaqan Alice is where your parent, your typically Dhaqan Alice is when your parents, they are first generation, right? So they're coming from a foreign country like Somalia, Africa, whatever. They're foreigners and they come to the West for a better life, right? And then the child starts to rebel and take the Western mindset. And then the parents, they want the child to be more Somali than Western because they think that that's the best way for them to grow up, which isn't always the case. But, they're doing what they think is best, but that's terrible because they're thinking Somali parents typically they come to Europe with a Somali mindset. They come to Europe with a Somali mindset where they're like, okay, I'm gonna succeed here with the Somali mindset, but that doesn't work. Even look, there's Somali women that go to Somalia first generation that don't even speak English. Like they only speak Somali and they're not willing to assimilate. They're not willing to learn the language of that country. So that means they're just gonna fail, and they set their children up for failure because they have the same mindset that they want the children to have. Yeah, they do. I'll give them props. They do have an emphasis on education. Some of them do, but the majority they don't become successful though. Like if you really think about it, the majority they don't become successful, and that's because. Why is that? Why do they not? Because they have the mindset, Somali mindset. They have the mindset that they had when they were in Somalia, and we already see what that did for them, right? And the children, they typically Somali children, they're stuck between two worlds. They stuck in a world of, okay, I want to appease my parents, and then they're stuck in another world where they're in a different country, and there's people that don't look like them, and then they're like trying to maneuver their way through it, trying to succeed. They don't make it because, most of them fail. Some of them become doctors, but that's small, percentage, very small, possibly negligible. Some of them do succeed in what they do in their life, but that's, few and far between. It's like negligible, really. Negligible is like something that happens so rarely that you can even consider it a, human error or something like, and Dhaqan Alice, let's go back to that point. But that basically is when the Somali parents, they get sick and tired of their child rebelling, and then they send them back to Somalia to get an attitude adjustment, right? So which really means that they're going to send them to a boarding school where they're going to be treated like slaves and prisoners. They're not allowed to leave whenever they want. They're told that you have to wake up at this time, you have to do this, you eat this at this time, you go to sleep at this time, you cannot leave this place. That means you're a prisoner because you're not allowed to leave, and you don't have freedom of action, you don't have freedom of movement, which means you're a prisoner, and that's what they do. And then you're a prisoner until you change your mindset or you appease them enough to where they're convinced that you are, you got an attitude adjustment. It worked. You have to try to prove to them that their method worked. And then they will, I don't know what happens after that. What happens after that is possibly you go back to Europe or you stay there, or you get married or something. I don't know. Like, there's really nothing, there's no benefits to Dhaqan Alice. I mean, what is there? Okay, let's go with the worst case scenario. Let's assume that subject A, Somali boy, he's a drug dealer. Okay, cool. He's a drug dealer. Fine. That's not cool, but he's a drug dealer. Okay. You sent him back to Somalia so that he can get a better life. What is this? Are you trying to get him a better life? Because his living conditions are going to drastically decrease. So I'm really not understanding. Okay, no, he's not going to get a better life. That's not going to happen. So the only reason is attitude adjustment. I don't really see how that's benefiting him. He's a drug dealer, so he's never gonna stop. Like, it's over. Like, you should just give up on him, to be honest, in my opinion. You can try and talk to him, but if he doesn't listen, then just let him do whatever he wants to do. Hey, do you think you're gonna get caught by the police? You're gonna get arrested. Okay, let him get arrested because he's a drug dealer. He's a criminal, right? Okay, and then let's look at the other side. It's not always just the parents that think that their child is a drug dealer. Okay, forget about that one. Maybe it's because he's not passing his exams, he's failing at school. He's a fuck up, right? A fuck up. A general fuck up. But sending him over to Somalia is not going to help him. It's going to make it worse. So, it's pointless. This just a pointless endeavor. And it's a bad parenting style. Terrible. Terrible parenting style. You send your child to a different country because you can't give him the help he needs. You can't nurture him the right way. You can't give him the knowledge he needs to succeed because you're a fuck up. The parent is a fuck up. They don't have anything. They're not successful. So so the child's gonna become a fuck up too because you're a fuck up. So you send him back to Somalia. I mean, that's like, it's the solution that's convenient because the other option is a lot harder. It's a lot harder for the parent to actually be a parent and parent the child and try to help them, try to help encourage them, try to give them a way to succeed, try to teach them the right path. It's just, that's difficult. The easy route is to just send them back to Somalia. And the easy route is the one that they take most of the time because Somali parents, they tend to be very lazy. Yeah, very lazy style of parenting because you're sending him to somewhere else, which means you're kind of already wiping your hands off him and you're saying, fuck you, I don't care about you anymore. You're gone because you made a mistake. Okay? But you're sending him back to a country that you fled from. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm looking at this stuff, I'm looking at YouTube, and I'm trying to find instances where Dhaqan has actually worked, and I don't know, like, it's mostly propaganda too. Like, there's this video on YouTube of this guy called this guy sitting in some hut with nothing, and then he's like, they probably paid him some money to say whatever they want him to say. Like, there's this video of this guy, this Dhaqan guy, what's his name? Let me look it up. There's this guy on YouTube, like, yeah, right here, look. This guy, and they paid him. They paid him. He's sitting there on this little chair, and he's talking about Dhaqan. They paid him money. They paid him. And of course, they paid him for the narrative. Now he's going to say whatever. They're probably reading from a script. He's probably reading some little paper that they gave him, and he has to read it. Or they told him, oh, so make sure you say this before the video, and they paid him, and that's it. And then they shared it on WhatsApp and made it blow up so other people can see it. But yeah, that's exactly how it is. It's a pointless endeavor. It's retarded and stupid. That's just my opinion. I mean, some people may think that, let's be fair. Let's look at it from the other side, There's two sides. Let's look at it from the other side. Let's look at it from the side that I don't normally look at it from. Okay, let's look at it from that side. So, cool. Maybe the analysis is good because, I don't know. I can't think of a situation where it would be good. How? How would it be good? Okay, let's try and think a bit. I honestly don't understand how it would be good. The only way it would be good is if I don't see it. I honestly don't see because you're losing time. There's no money there. There's no opportunity. You're in danger constantly because it's dangerous. There's war. I don't understand where the positive stuff is. I don't see. I honestly don't see it. Yeah, can you guys tell me in the comment section what you guys think is the positivity of Dhaqan Hadith? Can you guys like explain it to me? Maybe I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go through like mental gymnastics to figure this shit out. But it is what it is, guys. And I'm out. Peace.